Hello viewers, here is a Bionare VN. This of course is a Vornado knockoff product, which especially in more recent times I tend to think are better than the actual Vornado products themselves, but that's a different story. I got this for a couple of beans off the Digitan Goodwill. I don't see a date on there. Here's the informations. It is the Bionaire electric VN model BPF1146. Oh great, it's made in China. Ooh. I suspect this is probably a product of the last decade. It has a fuse plug and it has a very generic looking PSC motor like we've been seeing in a lot of newer, cheaper VNs. And so far it seems like these motors are pretty decent. I mean, this one to me looks like it was pretty well made for what it's worth. In fact, the whole VN kind of seems like it's relatively well made. You can see the blade it's got a very deep, very deep pitch to it. It's a very good looking blade, and the motor's a decent size. It's a PSC motor at 0.8 amps, which is a fair bit of power. I'm not really sure what exactly that is. Anyways, so yeah, it's got a 3-speed switch, which I also don't really understand it. So anyways, so let's go ahead and plug this in and see how it runs. Very curious to see if this is a good VN or not. I'm not very familiar with the Bionaire brand. I don't have very many products from them, and I don't hear of them very often either. I have those two Oscillating VNs with the odd controls, and that's it. I think that's the only products I have from Bionaire or whatever it is, Bionaire, whatever acronym it is. Alright, let's get this thing plugged in, and we'll go look at amps. We're looking at 120.9 volts, 121.1 volts, somewhere in there. And let's see what we can do here. Oh, it's a button. I thought it was a rotational thing. It's a button. Alright, so we'll start off at high. Okay, so balance is not bad. It's not perfect, but it's very well within a reasonable margin of error. Noise level is not too bad. 0.73 amps, 87.2 the watts, and a power factor of 0.98. So it's drawing right around where it's supposed to. And the airflow is quite strong. The air doesn't seem like it carries super well, but can't really assess the performance right now because it's absolutely filthy. Okay, down to the medium, which is 0.63 amps, 69.3 to watts, and a power factor of 0.9. It actually sounds a lot like a newer Vornado VN does. The airflow is still quite strong. Okay, and now the low. Still really quite strong. Noise level is, I would say this is a very moderate noise level. It's got a pretty good range in speeds. This is still drawing 0.56 amps, 59.5 the watts, and a power factor of 0.86. So it's kind of power hungry in the lower speeds. I'm not sure if the Vornado units are like that or not, but it's, I mean, even then 0.5 amps for a fan is not outrageous. I think it's a 12-inch fan. No, I would say it's like an 11-inch blade maybe. Oh, let's turn that switch on and see what transpires. Huh, it oscillates. That's interesting. It must be one of those, yeah, it's definitely one of those little, what are those things called? Come on, brain. One of those, synchronous motors, or a little synchronous motor in there. The oscillation is really slow, which I tend to like, but it's not very wide. I don't think that's going to be more than 45 degrees. Now let's see what the spin down is. Very reasonable. So, that's not bad. And the performance will increase substantially after cleaning. You can see there's a lot of dust built up on there, and it definitely hinders the performance significantly. So, I'm going to search this on the internet and see if I can find out when this was made, if it's still not, if it's, or if it's still made to this day. See if I can find out what it cost. Because if this does cost less than the Vornado model it's imitating, which it probably does, then I would say this is probably the superior product.